government debt. Now, it was reported both in the Age newspaper and on Sky News. Currently, Victorian state government debt is now $126 billion. But in just 3 or 4 years, it could almost double to as much as $247 billion. And that would mean an interest bill of $33 million a day. Apparently, this number will be double what New South Wales state government's debt is, even though New South Wales as a state has 20% more people than Victoria. So where are we headed? I mean, last time we got deeply into debt was the early 90s. Victoria was a rust bucket state. We were in recession. Jeff Kennett got elected. A lot of things had to be sold, like the SEC. Most of the debt got paid off, and yet here we are 30 years later. We're back into it again. Our next guest, he joined us last week to talk about property prices, chief economist and co-founder of Macro Business, and he's a former economist with the Victorian Treasury. Leith Van Onselen, good morning.
G'day, Tom. Thanks for having me on again.
Well, just on the debt thing, I see today that a state government program to get homeless people back under cover, it's called From Homelessness to Home scheme. It's having its funding cut by 75%, notwithstanding we do have a homeless crisis here in Melbourne. Are these the sort of cuts we can now expect, given the government's got so much debt?
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. So, look, Victoria's got the most debt in the country out of all state governments. We also have the lowest credit rating. And our debt is forecast to grow the fastest in coming years by, the ratings agencies, the report you just mentioned. And it's basically come about for three main reasons, Tom. So we've had a massive increase in public sector bureaucrats in Victoria. So our public service has expanded by 59% in the past 15 years. And that's well in excess of our population, which grew by 29% over the same period. Victoria's public...
So in the period where our population went up 29%, our state bureaucracy went up 59%, so more than double.
That's right. That's according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. And Victoria's public service wage bill also soared by 152% over that same period, which was by far the fastest growth in the nation. On top of that, we've had massive cost blowouts in infrastructure projects. We're all pretty familiar with those. So, for example, the North East Link was estimated to cost $15.8 billion. It's now going to come in at $26 billion. We've had that across the board. The Allen government's just signed the first contract for the $200 billion suburban rail loop against every expert's opinion, which is going to basically just, lump on more debt and cost. And then obviously we've had the COVID fiasco where, Victoria was the most locked down state. And so we ran up huge debt there. So the upside of this is we're going to have more taxes and more fees and charges on anything they can charge us with. And then they're going to be cutting back on essential services.
So what sort of taxes can we look forward to? We've already had a surcharge on land tax, for example. Can we expect more of that?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. So also the state government effectively put a tax on private school fees last year. So it raised the payroll tax and applied it to private schools. So that's basically, increased private school fees by about 10%. And it's just those sorts of things. So all sorts of little charges, when you try and renew your license, they'll probably try and, jack up that. You'll just see it left, right and centre. And basically the solution to this is to cut back on the bureaucracy is basically the solution, but they probably won't do that.
I spoke on air with the Premier 2 months ago. She's promised to come on again, although the date keeps being pushed back. I asked her about cost overruns on the big infrastructure projects, and she always described them as extra investments. So therefore, if something was due to cost $20 billion and instead of cost $40 billion, that's okay because it's an extra investment. So with that sort of thinking, like maybe it's no wonder that debt's going through the roof.
Yeah, look, it's it's sort of the broken window fallacy. It's kind of stupid. So obviously if your cost goes up, well then, according to the Premier, that creates extra economic activity because you're, employing more people for longer and you're spending more. But that's kind of ridiculous. Like imagine if we ran our household budgets like that. I do have some sympathy for the state governments in Victoria. Obviously the federal government collects most of the tax revenue in the country. They collect about 80%. They're fire hosing record numbers of people into Victoria and New South Wales, and that's leaving the states exposed because they have to provide most of the services, most of the infrastructure and all that sort of thing. So it is also the blame of the federal government, but obviously the fact that Victoria is worse than New South Wales means that we've got, gross mismanagement down.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as our population is going up, New South Wales's population, I think, is going up even faster. So to go through the three areas, so we've got the COVID debt. Well, that was badly managed, but it can't be undone now. It's happened.
No.
You've got growth in the public service. That can be wound back, but it's heavily unionised. It supports the government. So, they'll probably go softly on that. and then you've got cost overruns on big infrastructure projects. Surely the suburban rail loop, which some people say could cost as much as $200 billion, surely that needs to be axed or iced or put on hold for the time being?
100% it should be. I mean, just about every infrastructure expert panned that project and advised the government not to go ahead with it. And yet the Premier late last year signed the first contract of about 30 odd billion for the first stage. So unfortunately, she's locked in this ridiculously poor infrastructure project that doesn't pass any cost benefit analysis. And it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to plough us more into debt. And the problem with it is, Tom, it means that obviously if we're spending more money on that project, we're going to have less money to spend on genuine infrastructure projects. We're going to have less money for hospitals, schools, and all those sorts of things. And which means we're going to get poorer services. And that's why we're seeing, vital programs like this homelessness program getting cut back. And just one final point of that, if you don't mind me making, why is the government slashing funding for homelessness when it's just paid top bureaucrat Jerome Weimar over $500,000 to lead the government's housing policy in the Premier and Cabinet? Shouldn't the government be cutting back on bloat in the public service bureau?
I would have thought so. Jerome Weimar has this amazing ability to hop from high-paid job to high-paid job to high-paid job. Doesn't matter what results he brings, he keeps getting employed. We'll leave it there. Look, I do appreciate your time again. Leith Van Onselen, Chief Economist and Co-founder of Macro Business. So